Welcome to Cavalletta Studios. I'm Chris. Today we are here at the old homestead site. I'll be using the foam roller to get to each major muscle group. This is a great class if you are short on time but want to work out some of the stuck tissue. So let's get started. We're going to start with our glutes for our full body foam roller massage. So go ahead and sit up on that foam roller. And we're going to, you can either hold on to the roller and use your feet on the floor and roll forward and back. Now we're going to be pushing through each area, not spending a ton of time, but I want to make sure I introduce you to each area on how to foam roll them. The major muscle groups. Option 2, you can roll your glutes by pushing your hands onto the floor behind you, as long as that doesn't bother your back. And now we're going to go deeper into the glute muscles. So I want you to lean onto your left butt cheek, knees bent, feet flat, and hand on the floor, left hand on the floor, and just roll that glute all the way to the top and to the bottom of the gluteus minimus, maximus, and medius, all those muscles. Now we're going to get a little deeper. Part of that glute muscle is to cross that left ankle over the right thigh and roll some more. So it gets into that piriformis, deep into the muscles of the glute. Now it might hurt so good, you might find some speed bumps. Just rolling it away. Then we're going to take that leg, straighten it out. Just drag it just a little bit forward and back again. This is a brief foam roll session for each area of the major muscle groups. Then we're going to bend that knee and we're going to just flip over onto the other side. Now in your right butt cheek, you're going to put your left hand on your hip or on the roller and use those legs to roll that right butt cheek. So up and down. So you're leaning all your weight to the right. Right hand is on the floor behind you. Now you're going to cross that right ankle over the left thigh and get that glute. Flip that right butt cheek, pushing it down, that knee down towards the floor just slightly, opening up that right knee. If you find a spot, remember you can always pause on that spot and move that knee, massage out that trigger point. Then we're going to take that right leg straight. We're going to roll that, again, just a little massage there. Changes it when you straighten out that leg. Then we're going to sit up nice and tall. We're done with the glutes. Moving on. Hamstrings. So I'm going to move to the edge of my roller. So even if you don't have a long roller like I have and you have a short one, that works too. Move to the outer edge of your roller. It just gives you more mobility and movement. So I'm doing my left hamstring again on the edge of my roller. So I have my right foot on the floor so I can roll it. And you can even lean back onto your hands and roll that left hamstring. Now that might be a challenge. You can stay there. You can also cross the right over the left and add a little side to side or a little figure 8, side to side and movement up and down as you roll that hamstring. Make sure you go both directions. All the way, and then roll to towards the knee, but not into the knee. We don't want to go right behind the knee. We want to avoid any joints. We don't cross over any joints. One more. And then sit behind that roller. I want you to slide the roller to the other side, scoot to the edge, and put your right hamstring on that roller. Now my left foot is on the floor, hands on the floor, and just rolling out that hamstring. You get a little bit of upper body workout while you're at it. You're welcome. I know it's so good for you. And then cross that left leg, if you would like, over that right leg to get a little deeper into that hamstring. Just a nice little massage. This is a great massage. I'm running my legs together, words together, as my legs are running together. This is a great way just to warm up or a cool down after a hard workout. Then we're going to release. Bring that foam roller back to center. And we're going to straighten out our legs and bring the roller to the ankle area, right above the ankles, lower leg, lower calf area. We're going to start on the left again. You can do one leg at a time if you have really sensitive calves, or cross that right leg over the left and then bend and straighten. Again, we're going to continue with our little mini upper body workout while we're at it. If you can, lift your upper body and just roll all the way. You might have to bring your hands closer to you and work your way up that calf. So I'm moving up and down the center, then I'm going to turn my leg to the left and roll up and down the outside leg of the calf, and then inside, moving up and down. Now, if it is too challenging to hold your body up or it bothers your wrists, just feel free to bend and straighten that knee. But again, this is a quick tutorial on how to get all those tissues worked out. If you find a knot, pause on it and circle that ankle. Get that knot out wherever it is. Then we're going to release. We're going to the bottom of the right leg. And again, you can bend and straighten, or you can lift the arms, or push the arms down, not lift the arms, lift the hips and roll yourself. Or you can scooch forward and move up and down, or you can turn your leg to the right. Make sure you get all different areas of that calf muscle. The inside, the middle, and the outside. If you can bend the knee if you want, find a spot, just rotate that ankle. Again, too much on the wrist, feel free to have a seat. You can even lay on your elbows or your back and just do a little lift hip and bend and straighten. Lots of options here. Make it work for you. All right, from the calf, we've worked down the back of the leg, posterior side of the lower body. Now we're going to go to the IT band right here on the outside. So what you're going to do is drop to your left elbow. Keep your right knee bent, foot flat, because the elbow and the knee are going to help us move a lot. So I want you to straighten out your left leg. You're on your side. Place that roller right in the middle of your left thigh. Right hand on the floor as you lean to your side, and then push yourself the length of that IT band, iliotibial band. So all the way to the knee, all the way to the hip. Now maybe you're going along this and going, oh my goodness, this is painful. So put less pressure if it's too painful. Maybe lean a little more forward and then a little bit back. You can also draw big circles along. So you're going along the outside edge of that thigh. So the IT band can be very tight in women and runners especially, because women, you know what, we have a little bit of bigger hips the way we are built. All right, so a couple more. You don't need a whole lot of time on the IT band, so we're going to lower it down. I want you to just switch sides. So drop over to your left elbow. I'm going to show you the opposite way. So we're on the right side. So I'm using my left leg to maneuver and push my body as well as my right elbow. The right leg is straight and just rolling all the way up and down. And remember before what I mentioned about not rolling over joints, so we don't avoid the knee and avoid going too high up, especially if it's too painful. Go to where you feel comfortable. So maybe you're doing maybe 4 rolls up and down that leg, maybe 6, and maybe 10. Depends on what you have going on in the body. One more. Then we're going to release. Done with that part, right? If it feels super sensitive, go and give it a pat, or go ahead and rub that area. So did the whole back, the outside. We're going to do the quads now. So I want you to flip over. You're going to go onto your hands and knees. We're going to do a plank and then drop to your elbows. Or you can be on your elbows and then lift to a plank. Bring that roller right above your knees. Toes on the floor. Think about relaxing your shoulders. You might get a little bit of an upper body workout if you're weak on the upper body, but that's okay because that means you need it. And you're going to lift your feet off the floor. Now this is a slow one. We haven't been going crazy fast. We've been doing small little rolling the length, but not super, super fast. So we're just going same speed like we did up and down the calf, but notice how I'm going much smaller movements. I'm not going all the way up the calf or the quad. I'm going about 2 inches up and then 2 inches down. 2 inches up and 2 inches down. Now I'm going to go 2 inches up, walk my elbows back about an inch or two, and then continue 2 inches up, 2 inches down. So a lot of people ask me like, well, how often should I roll? How long should I roll? How fast? So we want to make sure we're doing it slowly. When we rush, we tend to tense up. The key is to get it done. Make sure you get on that roller. How often? Whenever you do it, that's the time to do it. As much as you can, whenever you can make it happen. You can do it in front of the TV or taking a break, before or after a workout. Now, see if you can use your arms and your body. Maybe walk your elbows forward, go to the top of your quads, and then use your arms to pull yourself very slowly. I'm not rushing to the top of my knees. So I'm going the length of my quads now, up and down. Now you are welcome to do one quad at a time. You can even lean. I'm shifting my body weight to the right, bending my left knee, so I'm getting a little more to the outside edge of that right leg and a little bit of the inside edge of the left. So again, this is just another way to get all the different areas of those major muscle groups. Then we're going to come back towards the knees, straighten both legs, shift or roll your body to the left. So now most of my body weight's on the front of that left. I bent my right knee and I'm going up and down again. So getting that quad. You might find a spot maybe on the inside or the outside of that front of that quad. Up and down. One more. Now we're going to end with the roller high up towards the hips. Slide back onto your knees. I want you to bring the roller a little bit higher. Now we are rolling all these different areas and we haven't stretched them yet, so be mindful. You do need to stretch them when you roll them. So we'll jump into that after we get each area, and then we'll do a quick stretch on each area. So on that hip, that foam roller is way up high on your hip, basically where that knee, when you pull the knee and bend it, that hip comes up where that crease is. And then I want you to be on your knees and just roll onto the side of the hip and to the front of the hip. Side of the hip and the front of the hip. So it doesn't take a lot of time out of your day to foam roll. Of course, the key is, if you really want results, is to do one of my videos with a long, more of a full class where you're getting the stretches in between after each area of rolling. But I just want to make sure for those of you that are in a hurry one day, just need to get it done, then you can use this or just an area to target. All right, last one. Now let's go to the other hip. So basically roll across that lower belly, go on to the other side. You're on your knees and you're just rolling to the side of the hip and to the front. Side of the hip and to that hip flexor. It's called the hip flexor because it helps us flex and extend our leg. Over. Couple more. You might notice that one side is more sensitive than the other. You might be feeling that bone towards the top edge of that roller. One more. Forward and back. Excellent. Go ahead and come all the way up. So we've just about got everything. We even got a little bit of that inner thigh when we bent the knee and went to the outside edge. So now we're going to shins. So you're going to bring both shins up onto the roller, hands and knees, tabletop. Now a couple options. You can roll both legs at the same time, but notice how I'm angled. So I'm leaning to my legs, my body, everything to the right. You can have your toes on the floor. I'm going to show you. So there's a bone along that shin. Make sure you avoid that bone. You want to go either on the inside. The goal is to get right along the outside, and you go way to the side, not just here, but over here to get all that tissue. So option 2 is to straighten the leg, and you can rotate the ankle. Notice how I'm not going super fast. It's slow and controlled, just like everything else that we've done. Option 2, you can also stack the legs, cross the ankles, pull in and out. This is a great preventative for shin splints. One more time. The other thing people ask, I mentioned before about how long to foam roll. It depends on you. Go ahead and shift sides. I'm on my left. I'm going to roll up and down. If it's too painful to stack, go ahead and straighten the leg. So maybe this example, these shins, if you're rolling the shin and you find that you have shin splints, and it's super painful, then maybe you should roll less and come back more often. If you have more time, you can really take your time. You can rotate the ankle different directions. You can get into that tissue. You can stretch it and then roll it again. That is going to really give you results and get you looser even faster. All right, then go ahead and bring your knees in front of the roller. So I mentioned about stretching. So we've done basically everything in the lower body. See, that was pretty quick and easy. So let's stretch out some of the lower body and then we're going to jump to upper body. So your toes, the top of your toes are on the roller. Separate your feet and then just start to lean back your hips. Now if it bothers your knees, you don't have to lean back as much. But the goal is to stretch out the shins and the front of the ankles there. So you can slide your hips, your butt back between your heels, again, if it's doable. If not, just stay forward. It is up to you. So getting those shins all stretched out, preventing shin splints. Then you're going to release, pull the roller forward so now your ankles are on the roller, hands on the floor, slide back onto your toes. So you're stretching now the ankle area behind and up into the Achilles tendon, the soleus, the quad. Sorry, not the quad, the shin. We're kind of stretching the quads a little sitting like this, but I want you to lower your knees to the floor. And then you can have your elbows on the roller or your hands on the floor. I want you to straighten out your right toe to the back of the mat. Really push into it. Pull the belly into your spine. Lift your left knee off the floor. So you're stretching out that right calf. You can even lift the left toe off the floor and you get a bonus again. A little bit of a core strength challenge as well as the upper body. And then lower the left knee. Let's switch. Place your left toe on the floor. Lift up slightly. Maybe the knee comes off the floor. Maybe the whole right foot as you're stretching that left calf. Breathe. Good. Now you're going to separate your knees, feet together. Slide your hips towards your heels. Find your child's pose. Stretch it out. So this is stretching not only the ankles, but also the quads. Good. Then we're going to roll it all the way up. So we got a little bit of that quad, that stretch there. Go ahead and slide onto one hip. Bring the feet in front of you and go ahead and bring that roller behind you. And straighten out both legs. Sit up nice and tall. Pull those glutes out. So we still have to get a little bit of the back of the hamstring and the glute. So I want you to pull that right foot over the left thigh. Sit up nice and tall and let's hold on to that right knee, right hand behind you and lift and pull the belly and twist towards that right knee. And see if you can turn and look behind you as far as you can. So we're stretching out all those glute muscles that we had foam rolled earlier, the very beginning of this class. Time flies when you're having fun. Go ahead and release and counter stretch. Sit up nice and tall. And then release, come back to center. I just feel so much better already, don't you? Moving a little better. We got things foam rolled in the lower part of the body. Go ahead and grab hold of that left knee with your right hand. Hug it in. Feel that glute stretching out. Flex that right foot. Think about your form. Relax your shoulders. Can you tell how much easier it is to stretch? And all we did was did a little bit of foam rolling. Quick and easy. But if you do a full class, you'll move way better. And then we're going to straighten out both legs, lift nice and tall. Let's add a little hamstring. So I want you to forward fold, reach, shake out those legs. This not only gets the hamstring, but also the calf. So again, if you don't reach your toes, that's okay, no big deal. Maybe you're up here. Maybe you're going like this. It's all good. That's why you're doing this. So you're improving your range of motion. And just lean into it. Do a gentle rock, side to side. See if you can melt a little deeper into your posture, leaning forward, stretching it out. And then slowly come up. Now we got one for the inner thigh. So we did get a little bit of the front, the back, lean into it, knees bent, bottoms of the feet together. So all of these muscles that we've been working, that hip flexor too, we rolled it. So that's why we want to stretch here, because those hip flexors are like, okay, we're ready to stretch a little more. And we'll get to another stretch with them in just a moment. All right. So upper back, it will help our hips and open up the front once we get the upper back done. So I want you to lean back. That roller is about mid shoulder blade area, feet flat, knees bent, fingertips behind the ear, hips on the floor. First start just to curve your body over the roller. Feel where your range of motion is. Make sure you can breathe and it feels comfortable. Always recommend this first before jumping into rolling the back, because you want to make sure your back is prepared. Take a deep breath in, lift those hips off the floor, and then we're going to roll the upper back. Now you might get a little bit of snap, crackle, pop, little natural chiropractic adjustment, massaging out the superficial back line, fascial line of the body. Couple more rolls. So you're going all the way to the top of the shoulder blades, down to about middle of the back. So where your belly button would come through on the low back is about where you should go, not any lower. If you go lower, that's completely up to you and your conversations with your doctor if you are unsure about what's going on in your low back. There's other ways to get the low back in the QL, and that's a whole nother class. Check out that. I have a video on that one, and that is called getting into the QL or quadratus lumborum if you have low back issues. One more roll. And then pull the roller to the top of the shoulder blades, pull your fingertips behind your ears, and pull your elbows together over your forehead. Tuck your chin slightly, and give me 2 more rolls. About middle of the back again, and then all the way up. Make sure you're breathing. Good. And then we're going to lower the hips once we go back to the middle of those shoulder blades. Good. Drop onto your left hip and roll towards your left armpit. And then just rock and roll all the way to towards the armpit, and then back into the shoulder blade. As much pressure as you feel comfortable putting into that area. If you have lymph nodes removed, do not roll into the armpit. Avoid any area that has had lymph nodes removed. You do not want to roll that area. So as you roll forward and back, if you've had any injuries in the shoulder, this might be painful, a little sensitive. Take your time. Maybe you need to take a break and stretch and try it again. Each time you do it, it will feel a little better. We got one more roll. Now I want to show you the other side. So basically you're just going to roll across the back of the roller, drop to your right hip, and then all the way notice the right elbow goes behind the roller on the floor, and just roll back onto that right shoulder blade, and then back towards that right armpit. Same thing applies on this side. Lymph nodes missing, then you avoid that area and you stay back on the shoulder blade and don't go into the armpit or the chest wall. If you're good to go, then you can go all the way into that chest wall. If your lymph nodes, then you're all A-okay up there and have no issues. If you've had any rotator cuff tears, this could be a little sensitive. Just again, keeping in mind, one more roll, and then we're going all the way back onto our back. Yeah, let's try one more roll for the whole upper back. Fingertips again, never interlacing because then we tend to pull. So fingertips behind the ears, back flat, lifting it up, rolling. If you want to pull your elbows in and tuck your chin and have your fingertips behind your ears, or excuse me, behind your head, you can do that as well. It makes the muscles of the back Come out a little further to easier access for that foam roller. One more roll, all the way up and all the way down. And then when you get to the bottom, go ahead and sit on the floor. And you're going to sit up. I want you to hug your knees into your chest and drop your chin. We're not done yet. We have one more major muscle group. Do you know what that is? What do you get? Do you get headaches ever? Tension headaches, tightness in the neck? Well, yeah, sitting at a desk all day, time for the head and the neck. Super important. Go ahead and release those shoulders. Sit up nice and tall and roll, roll, roll those shoulders. Excellent. Now you're going to slowly lay all the way back onto your back. I want you to bring that roller behind your head. So, super important here, you never roll the vertebrae of your neck. So you want to keep it up so it's hitting the skull. There's a little bit of space, no pressure on the back of the neck. If you feel uncomfortable and the roller is going to roll out, hold the outer edges. And then turn your head to the left on the roller. Excellent. Now, major muscle groups. So if you are not sure of where to roll here and you're not sure of terms that I'm saying, like the occipital bone on the base of the skull, which is towards the side of your neck, like not even the side, it's the back, but a little bit to the left. And if you reach right below it or just put your hands right behind your, next to your spine, you're going to find some muscle or just feel around. You're going to feel it. It's not bone. And just turn your head and nod a yes and a no. And just feel whatever spots you have going on. You want it to feel good, not bad. And let's try the other side. Now turn your head to the right, nod it yes and no. So the roller is a little on the occipital bone, a little bit on the neck when you turn to the side. So if you turn to the back to neutral, that roller you want it a little bit higher, and then as you go to the side, you can move it lower. So play around with it. Never putting any consistent pressure for long periods of time in one place. Just let it move around a little. Maybe then bring your roller a little higher, rock your head side to side. And I have one more stretch for you that is just going to complete this whole routine perfectly. So stay tuned here as we roll the roller out from under your head. I want you to bring the roller above your head and your head on the floor. Now, pick up your roller and I want you to slide it underneath your knees, close to your bottom. Push your feet flat into the floor and then lift your hips and roll the roller underneath your hips. So remember I mentioned that hip flexor stretch? Well, here is that hip flexor stretch. This is super good just for everything. Low back, bad posture, your knees. Pull your right knee into your chest. Make sure that roller is supporting your low back and your little bit of your hip butt area. Straighten out your right leg. Sorry, holding your right leg. Straighten your left leg. Don't straighten your right. Hold your right knee into your chest. Straighten your left. Pull your shoulders away from your ears and feel that stretch. Take a deep breath in and let it go. And just feel everything opening up. Now, whenever you can do this, is a great stretch. You can use your roller, throw some pillows under your hips, and just try this stretch. Go ahead and bend your left knee, and let's just switch sides. Both feet flat. Hug the left knee, straighten the right. You're just about done. We did the glutes, the hamstrings, the calves, the IT band, the quads, the hip flexors. We did the shins, the upper back, shoulder blades, and the head and neck. And we did a little bit of stretching. Highly recommend more stretching. But again, this is for those of you on the go. You did a great job taking care of yourself tonight. And then go ahead and release. You can take the roller out or roll yourself up. Either way, have a seat nice and tall. Feel your posture, line up your body, tuck your chin. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms. You did a great job. That was a full body foam roller. Thank you for joining. Namaste.